Hi, I'm here today with the Texas Auctioneers Association, and I would like to introduce to you our 1984 Texas State Champion Auctioneer and our 1997 Senior Auctioneer Champion, Mr. Jack Van Hauen. Jack also served on the TAA Board of Directors and was inducted into the TAA Hall of Fame in 2007. Jack, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Let's start. What is your earliest memory of an auction? The first time you remember anything about the auction industry?
Well, I was raised in northern Oklahoma and on a farm, and on Saturday nights a lot of times we'd go to town and they had a little auction there, and that was our fun thing to do on a Saturday night, was go to the auction. And sometimes we'd buy stuff and sometimes we wouldn't, but it just fascinated me to listen to the auctioneer then.
About how old were you when you were doing
Probably 10 or 12.
that? So you were prime.
Yeah.
When did y'all move to Texas?
Well, I graduated from school up in Oklahoma, and then I went to work for a railroad in '59, and I come down to Texas then.
So when did you know you wanted to be an auctioneer yourself?
Well, when I saw Dick Watson have a school in Fort Worth back in 1971, and I went to it because it only cost like $295, but that was a lot of money back then. And I went to it. There was probably, I think, 12 of us in the class, and he told us after we went through the class that there would probably be a 1% that ever made it as an auctioneer, and I must have been the only one, because I don't know of any of the others that made it.
And why did you want to pursue the auction industry?
Well, it was just, it was something that I'd always wanted to try to do, and after I was still working for the railroad, and I don't know, it was just a fun thing I thought I could do, and everybody said as slow as I talk, I probably wouldn't make one, but I fooled them when I got up there.
You certainly did. Tell about an auction that's most memorable to you.
I guess doing U.S. Fish and Wildlife auctions for them. That was quite a experience.
Tell us
because
about
we
it.
sold everything from rhino skins to cowboy boots to snake skins, and everything, just everything that they had confiscated over the years, over a year or so. And we done it down at my place there in Hauen City. We done 2 or 3 of them down there.
Okay, so tell us about the most unique place that you have ever worked an auction.
Well, I guess the most unique was probably when I got the contract to do the Rock Island Railroad, because I'd been working for the Rock Island from about 1960 to 1980, and they closed down, went bankrupt, and I did an auction for them in Fort Worth, and they had put out a bid on their merchandise for people to come in and buy, and the highest bid they got was $4,000. And I talked them into letting me do an auction, so the trustee said that we'll try it and see. And after I done the auction for them, I raised a little over $17,000, and that was in 1980, so that was a pretty good sale. And after that, the trustee called me and wanted to know how far wanted to go with it. And I said, as far as you want me to. So the next 2.5 years, I traveled through 8 different states doing auctions for them.
So you really were an advocate then for the auction method
Well,
of marketing.
I knew what railroad stuff was to start with, and that's one reason they kind of wanted me to do it, because I knew what items were.
Well, and then I think you were sharing with me the most unique item that you sold came from that.
Yeah, in El Reno, Oklahoma, I sold a pretty nice caboose for $14,000. That's back when the oil was real good up there, and I had a couple of oil men after it.
So, Jack, let's talk about when you're not working auctions. What is something you enjoy doing, like a hobby or a favorite pastime?
Well, I don't work too many auctions anymore. Nobody wants to hire a 77-year-old man. But what I'm doing now is I've got 2 classic pickups that I take to shows and work on and stuff like that. And then I try and buy, if I can, buy something, fix it up, sell it, and stuff like that.
I noticed when you came in, you had a hat on of
Mad Dog.
club.
Yeah.
So are you a member of that club?
Yeah, we got about 450 members in it.
That's great. That's great. So who would you say has had the most influence in your auction career?
Probably Joe Small, because I worked for him over in Dallas when he had his place some, and then when I started mine over here, the walls was painted just like his, light yellow, had the green carpet and everything. And because he always told me that, you set that old brown furniture on the floor, you don't want it to be brown floor, because that just kind of takes away from it. And the light yellow walls, they just bring it out so much better than, if it was a tan wall or something like that.
I remember your auction house, and I remember sitting there, and it was bright. Yeah, the furniture did not blend in.
That's right.
What do you feel has been the most fulfilling experience of your auction career?
Probably building my own facility and working it up good, and then when I got ready to retire, I had something to go back on as part of my retirement. And even though I draw a railroad retirement, I still had that too to rely on. So that's what I always try to look ahead and plan out, to have something to fall back on.
In hindsight, was there anything you might have done differently?
Well, no, not really, except I guess if I wanted to stay up with the way people do things, I'd have got more familiar with all the computers and all this kind of stuff. But when I retired in 2007, it kind of passed me by. So,
Well, what would you like to say to new auctioneers that are just getting started in the industry?
well, the main thing, like Joe used to tell me, is to be honest with the people. If you do that, you won't go wrong. If you try to cheat somebody, they will find out about it. And I've seen so many auctioneers lose what little credibility they had because they didn't do things right. They got a code of ethics, and y'all ought to read it and go over it.
Those were really wise words. It has really been a pleasure to have you here with us today, Jack. Thank you for coming out and sharing with
It's
us
a
today.
pleasure being here.
That is so neat. I'm so glad you brought some of these.
See, now there was my first letter I got from the association when I got in '75. But look at it, done on typewriter, and if they made a mistake, they just typed over it. And
Dear Colonel Van Houen, it is my extreme pleasure to welcome you into the Texas Auctioneers Association and to thank you for your support of our organization. We are always glad to meet and exchange ideas with fellow auctioneers. I have forwarded your national dues and you should be hearing from them in the future. Enclosed you will find your new membership card for $75 and a copy of our Code of Ethics. I don't think they send that out anymore
No,
either,
they
do they? Along with our new directory listing other auctioneers in the TAA. If you have any questions, please feel free to write. This is back the President, Mike Morrow, Vice President, Bill Wade,
Bill Wade, I knew real well.
Secretary Treasurer, Al Stevens, and then you have directors here at this time, Keith Carey,
Yeah, I knew him. I
Jack
worked for him.
Harper. You work for Keith, okay. Jack Harper,
I didn't know him.
Tom Kilman,
Yeah, I knew him.
Johnny Gathright,
Yeah, I knew him.
Howard Frog Adams,
Oh, yeah.
Dusty Adams,
Yeah.
Ralph Seegers,
Yeah,
okay, and Dudley Alphams.
yeah. Dudley Allhouse.
Alhouse, okay, you're right. It's the eyes. And there's the Code of Ethics.
And back then there's an antique trader. Do you remember those?
I do.
I don't think they do it anymore. Yeah, because I'd advertise full page in there. Man, I had people from Florida and California and all over coming to those auctions. Work them up and they get to bidding and stuff.
Oh,
You know,
it's a different dynamic, isn't it?
yeah. And it's just like Rocky Strickland. Did you know him?
Oh, yes, I did.
He'd come over every once in a while to my sale, and he says, if I treated my customers like you treat yours, he says, there wouldn't be nobody come see me. And he says, these people just come back to you all the time.